Hey there guys, I'm out here in the garage gonna cut some metal. Why am I gonna cut some metal instead of working on Tesla coils? Because the little woman is inside on the living room sofa monopolizing the smart TV watching Orange is the New Black, third season of that Netflix show. Netflix show about women. Women in prison, women living together, eating together, bathing together, doing whatever the heck it is when you lock a bunch of women in a room and there's no men around for a long time. Frankly, a little uncomfortable with the idea of husband and wife lesbian porn night. So I do, in these situations, what all guys do in such a situation, which is either blow something up, do something life-threatening, or cut some metal. As we have a drought here in California, the first option is not really open to me. I don't feel like diving off of a hill with a faulty parachute. Not a base jumper, so I'm going to do the third thing. I'm going to cut some metal. I'm going to make a base to this. This is the top. I got to cut a hole in my aluminum cylinder to the minor diameter. I measured this thing with some 3-wire approach. Really a masochistic approach to measure the depth of threads, but I put these threads in here, 8 threads per inch. I don't actually know how deep they are because I didn't pay attention. I was thinking about my wife watching 2 women shower together, and I just kept cutting it deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until it wouldn't cut anymore. Okay. Anyway, with that out of my head, measured the thing, decided that the thread depth was 0.083, so 83 thousandths. Major diameter is 3.24 inches, minor diameter is 3.07. I got to drill a hole or bore a hole in my other piece of aluminum, 3.07 inches. No, I'm not going inside to watch lesbian porn with the wife. Yes, this is 2015, but no. Because I've had this laying around on my desk for, a couple months now. I got it at SparkPhone when they came out. It's a geophone. This is a geophone. It senses vibration, basically. Can't really use it for a seismograph, I guess, because it doesn't really sense very low frequency, like 1 hertz or half a hertz, the earth rolling as the folks are screaming and running for cover from the falling buildings. This is more like your sort of Godzilla sort of attacking Tokyo thing where ka-chunk, 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 the ground is vibrating faster, 5 hertz or so, the buildings are falling, that kind of thing. And I want to mount this in something and develop some electronics, probably just make a quick instrumentation amplifier out of some op amps, or I'll get an Arduino and do it in software. Just have it light a light or something like that. But this thing kind of wants to be in something massive, so I'm building, I decided I'm going to use this piece of aluminum, this block of aluminum I have, and this used to be part of this block of aluminum. And I built it off camera. Why? Well, because for most of my life I've built things off camera. I've done most of my life off camera. And I've decided that doing things on camera takes longer. You got to explain yourself. But I did this, and while I was doing it I realized that there's a lot of people who really enjoy watching machining videos. I myself am among them. Now, I can't begin to explain why people enjoy watching the tool cut into metal and the chips come off, but it's just one of the most satisfying, zen, relaxing things to do. It's also fun to watch somebody else do it and somebody else make the mistakes while you're sitting back having a beer. I may be doing that someday too. But in any case, so I made this. I made it off camera because I didn't know if it was going to work, and it kind of worked, it kind of didn't work. The threads came out. They didn't come out so bad. I guess it's not so bad, but in some spots it's not so good. Meanwhile, I've got the rest of it here, so I'm going to do is hollow this out, and I'm going to thread it. Another reason I usually don't record my lathing is because when I make a mistake, I don't like to do it in public, which is pretty much all the time. On the other hand, maybe you can learn from my mistakes. Let's see, what we're going to do is we're just going to use one of these here, these things, right? You know what those are. These are these. As Robert De Niro said to Paulie, but it wasn't Paulie in the movie, it was somebody, this this is this. With the deer hunter, right? This is this. Whatever it is, this is this. You know it. I'm going to put this in the tailstock. Basically, the best place for you to be to see is where I need to be. There's another reason why doing this stuff on camera isn't always so rewarding. Alright, well, we got that done. Another thing you can ask if you're in New Jersey and living in California is this really necessary? And by this I mean this right here. This is coolant from the famous Tom Lipton hybrid coolant generation system. Actually, it's my version. See, it spews that crap on there and air at the same time. Better if there's a little bit of air because it's just spray. It makes a nice mess. I think this is a nice speed for cutting this particular thing. Why do I think that? Because I've looked at Machinery's handbook? No! Oh, see the way it bends like that? We don't like that. That's not good. Not good. Nope, 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 nope. Try again. It wasn't Paulie in the Deer Hunter. It was the guy who played Paulie from The Godfather, who was in the Deer Hunter, though. Then he said, Paulie, this is... But he didn't say Paulie. I forget what the guy's name was. Movie. Let's see if this fares any better. We're using random. I don't like the way that moved like that, but it moved, and now it seems to be done moving. I think arbitrarily small bits and growing up from there works better. I need to go in at least 2 inches, speaking Englishly. Way too much goop. Way too much goop. I don't need that much mess. And we don't need that either. See, that's not a good thing to happen. I hate when that happens. You know, don't you hate when that happens? I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens. That's because this is aluminum, And we didn't go to the handbook for the speeds and feeds, and we're just playing games with this quarter. But you know, I have a real job I need to do, and I'm just doing this to keep my mind off my real job. And y'all are probably saying, good thing that you don't have to do this for a living, because that seems to be working better. All right, how far in did we go this time, Paulie? How far in did it go? As my nephew says, I do have relatives on the East Coast. So you know what happens next. I wrote the screenplay for this video while I was on vacation at the French Riviera. I figured I'd be close to Cannes so that when festival started I'd be there. And basically it goes like this. I use bigger and bigger bits. Oh man, why does that do that? That is something I do not want to see. I feel that the gods of machinery are having a laugh at my expense here. Why does that bit want to not be centered? You know, I gotta say, sighting down the end of it doesn't look very centered. How the hell did that happen? Bring it in there. See what happens. I'm watching. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so it's not. That was just some kind of high quality bit I got from a online market of some form. I would say those bits were manufactured with slightly less than ISO 9000 standards, and consequently whatever happened happened. This one is from the same family, but it's more willing to play ball with me on the off chance that perhaps I can sponsor it for a green card in this country. Let's make sure we measure here. I don't want to go too far and come out the other side because I would really like this thing to not have a hole in it. And now I got one of these stubby drill bits, and the meat of the bit, should probably slow this bad boy down. And the meat of the bit, I'm measuring 2 1/4. Maybe this will actually work because there's only this big flute. Let's see, we don't know. Let's move this. I should have done this with the machine turned off. No pro activity here. Add a little bit of that on top of that. Oh yeah, mama. We got ourselves a convoy. Wow, that's just beautiful. Let's slow you down. We got the screeching. We got the squealing. We got the complaining. Let's put some juice in there. It'll complain less with the juice. Oh yeah. This sounds like a Steven Spielberg video. You know, the vibration. Got this vibration. Vibration. Come on, maybe. Does that help you at all? No, mama? No. Alright, I gotta turn this down a little bit. There's like a little bit too much of that going on. You know, I gotta clean that up. That's the problem. That's the real problem, is I just don't feel like cleaning that sucker up. Look at all this goo. Bring that back. And bring this. How come they never see the pro guys, you know? I never see Tom Lipton with garbage like this, all, you know, this gooey white stuff all over the place, or Adam Booth. I mean, these guys do this stuff for a living, and nothing they do seems this awful. On the other hand, I don't know, maybe this would be an inadvisable job for them. Listen to the squealing. Shut up, slow you down, sit down. Come on, mama. Maybe it's a little fast, alright, you know? It's not that I'm worried about shatter marks, because it's just that I'm worried. Because I'm a chronic worrier. But it is chattering. That screeching noise is not something I am happy to hear. And I think the juice doesn't get in there because once the chips come out. So what do you do? Hey, you know, if somebody knows what you do to get that lubricated in there, I would really appreciate it, because I don't know, and I'd like to know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to just draw it out, break the chips, and break the chips, and then I'm going to squirt in the WD-40. That's what I'm going to do. All right, let's wind this in. The problem is, if I wind in the tailstock too far, then the chuck disengages. I really should be using collet. But as I said, I'm just some guy from New Jersey living in California. Look at that. That's some first grade A aluminum there. Look at that there. That's what I want for dinner. I'd like to not hear it make that noise too. I really would like to not hear that noise. Let's squirt a little more of the happy juice in there. WD-40, I know you can't get it in California anymore. I managed to get, I think, the last 2 gallons that were shippable to California before the law went into effect. I use it, at a very slow rate. Thank God I am wearing the safety glasses, because that bounced off my face. That is a good reason right there. Saved my eyesight right there. You saw it live. You were here. You were here for it. My lovelies, we're almost there. We are almost there. And then we're going to put an even bigger bit in. All before the wife gets home for dinner. And when she gets home, we're not going to have any dinner, because I didn't make any, because I'm doing this. Why? Because I'm a guy. And this is what guys do. Nah, that's not true. It's not what all guys do. That's what I do, though. That's what I do. Let's put a little more of this in there. Maybe it will be happier. It's not squealing anymore, I notice. It is. I'm almost up to my mark. I'm almost up to my 2 and whatever inches. Oh no, actually, up to the end of the travel. Up to the end of the travel on the tailstock, so we must readjust. We must readjust. We must readjust, Captain. We must readjust. You know, they didn't show any metal work in Star Trek because computers did it all psychically. They had these psychic computers in Star Trek, and they actually, you wonder how the hell, what did they do for welding? I guess I saw Scotty weld on Star Trek in one episode. Alright, I take it back, that wasn't true. And I think we're about there, folks. We don't have to do this anymore. We don't have to do this anymore. We don't have to do that anymore because, gentlemen, now we're going to do this. This is the one that gets the ladies excited. This is what you came for. Yes, sirree. Now, I'm not even going to put a blue line on this baby because when it gets to the end, it's simply going to complain to me and say, we're done. It doesn't fool around. This guy is a man. This is a man's bit. This is a bit I got on eBay, and I didn't fool around with the price. I didn't fool around either. They said, are you man enough for this bit? I said, I'm man enough with the money. I've got the cash, you've got the bit. Let's talk. The next thing I know, I win the election or the whatever the hell it is you win, and they sent me one of this, and I sent them some money. And that's the way it works. If you got the money, you can get the bit. Now this bit might actually benefit from what we call your coolant. Just because I am not afraid of the compressor. Focus. Let's look at that. Is that great TV or what? This is what people like to see. They love to see a bit plunged in the metal. I'm going to give you a better look at that because from the side it is just so fun. Hang on a minute. Welcome, my friends, to little porn. Little shop porn. In my case, garage porn. Here we go. You gotta admit, look at that. Look at that. Is she happy? Boy, is she happy. She is a happy camper. Woo-hoo! Mama. See, things get good when the bits get large. And the coolant is working, I hope. I hope you are working, coolant. Please be working. Okay, now we'll try it again. I don't know if the coolant is doing anything, but it sure looks pro. Look at that chip coming out. That looks like something right out of a Ridley Scott movie. You wouldn't want that popping out of your chest at dinner, would you now? Ha 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 ha. I think that's as far as she goes. The out isn't as cool as the in, is it? No. But it's got to come out if you've gone in. I think we're going to go in a little further, just because when I look in there, I see that further is where it wants to go. No question. There, there we go. There we go. What does it take to get these things to function? It might be chipped. Hard to say, but I've got the handy economy size Cobra carbide, also bought on eBay. Let's go for it. And there's one out right now. Now, before eBay, what did we do? Well, I apologize in advance for talking like my grandfather. He was an Italian barber, that man. Spent his whole life on his feet. He had no eBay. He had no eBay. What would we do without eBay as garage shop people? Where would we find our boring bars and our carbide tooling? I'll tell you where. Sears and Roebuck catalog. That's what we had. We had the Monkey Wards, we had the Sears and Roebuck, and that's what you had. And if you couldn't find it there, it was not doable by anybody living at home. Only if you're at work. Here's what we're going to do. All right, I have this cross slide angled in. Let's see if you can see it's at an angle. You got to believe me, it's at an angle. It is at an angle. It's at an angle. It's at an angle that I've measured with here to be 30 degrees from the face. Now, we're doing internal threading, so I want it this way 30 degrees. If I was doing external threading, I'd want it this way 30 degrees. So basically, it's 60 degrees different from here. My lathe doesn't have any marks on this side. It has the mark over here for me to judge when I'm at 30. So I had to use this thing, and this is a fine thing. I mean, look at this. It's a nice stamped piece of metal. It's probably accurate to within, I don't know, 20 degrees or so. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I want to line this face up flat with the work, actually with the not the work, but with the chuckamaroonie. Okay, here's what we're doing. We're going to use this. This is the machinist angle, which is 90 degrees, the machinist square. Put her up against there, and then I'm going to put the tool holder up against that. That's what I'm going to do. You're going to listen to me, right, tool holder? Right. Tool holder up against that, and then we is there. Oh, shoot. Okay, that happens to you. You know, that happens. That's why we're flexible. You know, my relatives, the Italians, my ancestors, are very flexible people. That's how they survived the wars. They're very flexible. Things like this happen, you regroup, and you go again. You say, follow me. There we are. Okay, there you go. Now we got this 90 degrees, or this guy, this face is now parallel to here. Hopefully it will be also parallel to there. You'll notice I've got the, maybe you don't notice. Can you notice that? I'm going to make you notice. You'll notice that I have the tool turned downside up and upside down. So why I'm going to do that is because I hate carving inward with the threading. When you got to thread inward, I just hate that. I prefer to machine on the outside edge of the hole. So I'm going to machine on the outside edge of the hole as it's coming up and press that on the outside edge instead of on the inside edge. If I press it on the inside edge, I got to go inward. And I hate that because I got to keep looking at this thing. And you know, I get distracted. I'm old. I start thinking about things. You know, what did I have? What am I having for dinner? How much money I got left in the bank account? Who made liquid soap? Whereas if I start it from the interior on the outside, I can progress outward. And the worst thing that happens is it crashes into the tailstock. I pass out, fall asleep, take a nap. That's the worst that happens. It doesn't crash into the head and I lose all kinds of equipment. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, we all know what's going to happen next. I don't have to tell you the end of this story. When this guy gets to the point where he's far enough along that away, this bad boy is going to knock into these. So what I'm going to have to do is I have to rotate this 90 degrees. You all saw that. I didn't see it. Thank you for telling me. Okay, this is now making what we in the garage hobbyist machining business call a god-awful noise. I gotta find out why that is. Either the speed is wrong, I've slowed it down, that doesn't seem to be it. I think the orientation of the bar is not good. Although I used this bar in exactly the same configuration to do the last bit, and it worked just fine. I put a new insert in it, and should be happy with that. But, you know, maybe because I'm not using the coolant. Maybe the coolant would make a difference. Let's see what we got here. Nah, I don't know. I'm not liking the way that looks. I don't like the way it sounds. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the look of you. You know, I don't like your face. I don't like your mother. I don't like what's happening with this. Is this broken already? You're new. No, it's not. It's not. I wonder if this is not on center or slightly below. Looks on center to me, but you know, I could look. Okay, I went Ixnay on the Coolant K there, and I'm just going to use this stuff, which is now illegal in the state of California. WD-40, water displacement 40. It's been around since what, World War X, World War II. Is something in it they don't want here. Well, this is the last of it. Ha 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 ha.